guys, and welcome to today's episode of Ask Alli. Today I'm going to be talking to you about my foundation routine, and I think today's going to be a great day to do this because as you can see I've got some blemishes going on, so we're going to cover those up and I'm going to just talk you through what I do every day for my foundation. The first thing that I usually use if I'm looking at some redness that I want to cover up or I have any kind of like dryness that has caused some discoloration on my skin, as you can see I have some down here and I have just some random blemishes, I like to go over those first just with my finger and some face and body foundation. So I'm just going to work a little bit of that over any areas of discoloration that I see before I do my foundation. This is basically acting as like a sort of primer, and you have a lot of options when you want to prime your face before foundation. I've also put on a moisturizer just to kind of help with some dryness, and you can really use whatever you want. If you find that you get really oily when you apply foundation, it's best to probably look for something that has a little bit of oil control or is an oil-free moisturizer. There are also some that help with redness, like I know Smashbox makes a really good green tinted primer, so I'm just going to work that also under my eyes a little bit to sort of combat a little bit of that discoloration. And this isn't, I'm just doing this pretty sloppily, to be honest. I don't do this really perfectly, or I don't use a brush or anything. I just want to get a nice thin layer of that over to sort of help cover up some of that discoloration. And now, since I've just covered up a few things that I don't like, I'm ready to apply my foundation. And I've just been lately using the Studio Sculpt foundation from MAC. It's got SPF in it and I just really like the texture. It's a gel-based foundation, and so I really like how it feels when it goes on. It doesn't, sit very heavy. And I have found good results with two kinds of brushes actually. I have used a tapered foundation brush and I've also used a stippling brush before. So what I think I'm actually going to do today is just apply my first coat with this and then just sort of buff it out with this, because I really like the way this puts on the foundation, but I really like the finish of this. You can just experiment and just figure out what works best for you and for your skin type and for the type of foundation that you're using. I'm just going to start applying the foundation, sort of working from like the middle of my face out. You can really do this any way that you want. Some people prefer to start on the cheeks, and actually that's a good way to test if the foundation is a good match for you, is to sort of apply it right here and just make sure it doesn't like look too awkward with the color of your neck or the color out here or here, just to make sure that it blends really well with the color of your skin. And if you're having trouble getting matched for foundation, you should definitely ask somebody. It's important that it matches your skin color. Although, to some extent, it's what you want. So if you want a certain look, go for it. If it doesn't necessarily perfectly match your skin, but it's what you want, that's your deal. But I would definitely say that it helps to get matched at a counter professionally by someone who knows what they're doing if you aren't sure what color you need. And it's important to know what color range your skin falls into. Like if you need a foundation that is cooler, like if you have more olive tone skin, you might need a cooler foundation, or if you find that you burn really easily in the sun, you might need something that is warmer. Like if you have a more ruddy complexion, more orange or reds in your skin, you might need to go with a warmer foundation. So with this brush, I'm just trying to make sure that I get a sort of even layer of the foundation on, and then I can go back over with my stippling brush and work through and make sure that I get the finish that I want. And it's also really important to remember that you blend your foundation into your neck, because I think so many people forget to do that and then it just looks like you have a mask on. And I mean, unless that's the look you're going for, I would say you should try to remember to blend it the best that you can. And you can even apply it on your ears. In some cases, I don't usually apply foundation on my ears, but blending it into your neckline and up into your hairline as well, that's really important too, to make sure that you blend it up into your hair. My goal when I wear foundation is to make it look as though I'm not wearing makeup. So if that's what you're looking for, like a really natural, flawless finish, you should just do a lot of work blending the foundation out. And I take forever to do my foundation. So now I'm just gonna go back over, like I said, with my stippling brush, and I've applied a little bit of the product on there, and I'm just basically gonna blend that over the surface of my skin to really make sure that the foundation blends into all my pores and doesn't leave any streaks or any weird looking patches of uneven texture on my skin. So once I kind of blend out everything on my face, I also like to just go around my eye area and just make sure that I cover sort of under my eyes. And I don't really like to do anything heavy on my eyelids in terms of my foundation, because I tend to get oily eyelids if I'm not wearing any eyeshadow, which I'm not going to today. So if I'm just going to apply like an eyeliner or mascara and I just want to do something simple on my eyes, I usually just take my foundation brush and I don't apply any more product, but I just use what product is left on there and run it along my brow bone just to sort of make that area match the rest of my face. Now that I've applied the layer of foundation and I'm happy with the way that it's blended out, I'm going to go ahead and just start concealing a few extra things, just a little bit under my eyes and a little around my nose where I still notice any redness, or over any blemishes where I see anything that I don't really like. And this is the Select Moisturecover. This is an NW20. So I usually just like to spread it out with my fingers a little bit first, just to sort of get it into the areas that I want, and then I go back through with some kind of blending brush and just blend that out. A little bit down onto my cheeks, and then just sort of through the corner of my eye just to give a nice even finish. And then the other eye as well. Same thing, just kind of down onto my cheeks and through the corners of my eyes. And now I'm just gonna work a little bit around my nose and just any areas that I still notice any redness or anything that's a little bit discolored showing through my foundation. And now last but not least, before I set all this with my powder, I'm just going to use a little bit more concealer to cover up the blemishes that I have because there's still a little bit of redness showing through. So I'm just using my Pro Longwear Concealer in NW15. And so for this, I'm just going to use a little bit of the product on my fingers and just work that over the surface of the skin. My dog is getting bored with me doing this tutorial. Just a little bit over here as well. Now that I have a look that I like with my foundation concealer, I'm going to just set it all now with a loose powder. This is just a Prep+Prime translucent powder, and I really like this because it doesn't make my face look as matte as like a piece of fabric would look, but I don't look, you know, really shiny and oily. So I just enjoy the sheen that this kind of leaves. So I'm just gonna work that over my skin with my powder brush and just sort of lightly cover everything and make sure that everything is really set nicely, especially under my eyes, because I don't want that to start to crease up and look awkward. I mean, that sort of happens every single time anyway. You kind of have to go back through and blend that out with your finger after your foundation has really set, but I just want to make sure that everything stays put and that I have a nice finish over my foundation. So that is literally it for my foundation routine, but I feel kind of weird leaving you guys with this like half finished face because I just want to let you guys know, you know, what the full face of makeup will look like once I'm finished. So here I'm just going to fill in my brows a little bit with some brow gel and my brow brush, and then I move on to a little bit of bronzer, then I apply a little bit of highlighting powder just to the certain areas of my face that I want to look a little bit more natural, some mascara, and of course a little bit of your favorite lip gloss. Alright, so that is just about it for my foundation routine, and this is the finished look. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you have any additional questions or any other suggestions for things that you'd like to see here on Ask Alli, just be sure to tweet me or leave them in the comments below. Bye guys, thanks!